It's about the intention.
I like that. It is. It is
The
about the
person
intention.
needs to want a better space for themselves.
Welcome back to my channel and to another video. Today we are at SF Design House yet again, and it is located at Oxford Station on 7th Street in industrial area. And we're sitting down with Christina and Diana, who are going to walk us through the interior design industry in Uganda, things you need to know when you're building, working with an interior designer, the ups and downs of our industry within Uganda and Africa. I'm very excited, so let's get into it.
Okay guys, you asked how I'm delivering. So many of you had asked about interior designers in Uganda, their contact, their info, and I was like, what better way to give it to you than in a video? So Diana and Christine of SF Design House have been so kind to come and, well, I've come to interview them about their space, what they do, the industry in Uganda, all of your questions answered in one video. Thank you guys so much for having my channel and us here.
Thank you for coming to our space.
All right, so if you could give us a brief history about SF Design, how you guys came to have this gorgeous space over the last course of 2 years, 3 years? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It started out in events. We were formerly known as Simplex Favors Limited, and we're primarily doing baby showers, bridal showers, weddings, kwanjulas, kuhinjas. And it started out as attending to people with small events, small intimate events, then sort of skyrocketed into doing 2,000 people events.
Oh,
and
wow.
Diana, do you want to pick it up? The story is so long.
Yeah, the story is long. But we started with, like Kristen said, events, Simplex Favors, and the whole idea was we wanted people to express who they are. We felt like the market was going a lot on probably what somebody else is doing and not having a good expression of who they are. So we started out with small events, intimate events, bridal showers, baby showers, weddings. We were going for like smaller weddings and authentic spaces, using natural flowers and things like that. But then of course, as you start a business, you're always pushed to do to other directions. So we got moved into like bigger weddings, and we're doing up to 2,000, 5,000 events, because again, we don't operate in a vacuum. We operate in Uganda society, culture-wise, we celebrate big.
Yes.
With that, we saw that the real foundation of where we stood or where we come from is about space design, which is about looking at a space and making people feel great, because that's how we approached our events.
Right.
We wanted somebody to walk in and feel like this is Rachel's event. We wanted things to speak to Rachel's taste.
Style,
so
colors,
everything. So then we noticed that our passion is space. It's not typically events, so it could be event design, but from a space design side, and it could be interior design from a space design. So then we moved to do interior design, and we decided to do both of them until we realized that we can't do both and we need to give time to one to grow, and then we decided to do interior design. So that's what we ended up
so happy about, because we need it in the space. We definitely need it in Fiji. Okay, so now at this point you're in the interior design space. You've created a concept, a feel, and all of that. How was it launching? Like that move, like, did you end up with clients that you had from before? Did you end up having to like start afresh? How was that move?
So interestingly, one of our clients was able to see how we were approaching design, and they were able to see that we approach design from a space perspective. So they asked us to design a lounge as part of their hotel, and that's when our idea was pushing like, okay, if somebody can just see that from the work we do on events, then we can move to the interior design. So when we made the shift, as all entrepreneurs, you're scared about doing one thing. You want to do two things and make sure that, oh my God, if this doesn't work out, then maybe I have this. So we didn't do a shift that we have left this and we have gone to this. We maintained the two until we realized that we were giving more energy to interior design
than we were giving events.
to events still because of the industry operating. Culture-wise, the events are, you know, big and humongous and everything, and then interior design, you can have a bit of a voice with the client. However, with events, you're dealing with numerous clients, parents, aunties, uncles, and everybody. So
but also that transition, we had a lot of inquiries coming in from our event clients, our interior design. Based on how we were approaching the space at that time, how we approached events. Again, Dana has already mentioned that we used to customize a lot around our decor with events. So once people were asking about interior, it was sort of a natural way to segue into it, and maybe speaking from a designer's mind or our mindsets around design. People would say like a fashion designer or jewelry designer or graphics, or I don't know, whatever kind of design you're in, because you will find a fashion designer designing a car maybe, or designing an interior, just based off of that foundational knowledge of design, which is just it's creativity. It's so we didn't feel limited. We didn't feel inefficient or not enough for us to then approach interiors, because interiors are just like any other space, only that this space is going to be here for a while. It's not a temporary space. So the transition was, of course, we got a bulk of information, like as we're doing our research, as we're getting into interior design. It was sort of a shock in terms of the amount of detail that goes into a space, but as soon as we got the hang of it, we were ready to jump.
Nice. So of course, moving from the event space, you have particular vendors and it's a different industry, although it's still design and creativity. How was it shifting into the interior design market in Uganda?
I think the best way to respond to that is about we believe in starting and learning as you grow. You can't have everything figured out, even with the vendors and learning what the different materials you're supposed to use, even with production and understanding customization, because when you approach business, the design business, you really approach it from a very passionate side, but there are challenges that come with passion-driven decisions. You're probably going to look at customizing as your style, as your taste, to try and articulate your client's taste. But what are the challenges that come with that? They may be that the production cost for that is high, and then the client's bill is going to be high. So we just keep a learning spirit. You need to keep a learning spirit. Everything is for learning. Whatever you have in your mind, you have to see how does that work. If it doesn't work, what is the other way that you can still find best ways of getting the results that you want, and grow relationships as you grow. Relationships are being made with time. Knowledge is made, and it doesn't end. So you can't have everything figured out. So we are not believers in, business plans, and we're going to do this and because the industry we deal in is very dynamic, unprecedented. We deal a lot more with do this, find out how did it work. If it didn't work, just keep a feedback loop.
But also I think one thing that stands out in interior design is the vendors in events are many. You have a wide selection of people you can choose to be a florist, the lighting guy, the floor, the tablescape. Whereas in interior design, the market is, it looks like it's flooded with vendors, but then the ones you can rely on, the ones that can deliver the work on time, the ones that are going to translate your design and bring it out, those are few. And that's not to say that people are not trying. We have other capacity issues affecting how items turn out. So that's not even the vendor's fault. There are issues much bigger than the machine they're using. I mean, just even the country policy around design, creative work is limiting. So next to the American Embassy, you'll find so many vendors, beds, tables, chairs, and those guys are catering to the actual middle income class of the country, because we cannot assume that the corporate class of Uganda is the middle income class. You might find, that's another discussion, but those people, depending on the designs we come up with as well, it's very hard to rely on them to generate a certain chair or table. So I guess those challenges were there.
That makes sense.
And are still.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny because that's actually how we started talking in depth about our industry. We're talking about a couch, and I was explaining how I got my couch made, and aesthetically it's beautiful looking at it, and I no major complaints, but in terms of the comfort level,
the functionality,
yes, I didn't realize until you guys told me that we don't even actually have those fibers to create said couches that I'm used to in Canada. Like, we are very limited, and it's wild because then I asked, okay, well, we have this whole boo-boo movement in Uganda, but yet is the support there for vendors?
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo.
We're about to get very controversial.
We support the government. Boo-boo builds, Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
Yes, for those who don't know.
A very economist perspective. I think there's need for revision on the policy. It's a good policy, but it's not a well-executed policy, because it's a policy that is a big blanket. It says buy Uganda, build Uganda. That means everything Ugandan, you buy and to build Uganda. However, to buy products, you have to, it's a protectionist policy. It is to support, the economy. That means bar people from buying things from out of the country. But that means then it should be sector by sector or bits by bits, so that the resources are well utilized. So if we were to say buy Uganda, build Uganda, maybe we should look at a certain industry where we have a good comparative advantage, and then the government puts the resources in there and puts the effort there, and so that the products are good and we're producing them at a good rate and quality, and so that people of the economy are getting good quality at a good rate. However, if we go at it from a very blanket mindset, then it's too wide, then the resources are not used efficiently or optimally. If their policies to make sense, then there has to be a deliberate effort from government. An individual's resources would never be enough. And also, even if an individual had money, there is still policy that has to guide on what is done. So if we were to support, buy Uganda, build Uganda, and support the industry, or expect, these nice chairs that we're seated in to be produced here, it would mean that government would have to put a deliberate effort in capitalization of a certain production of something, because also the creative arts is quite wide. So if we were to look at production, if we were to say maybe timber, because we have timber that is readily accessible here, and say what's the kind of machinery that is needed for these guys, what's the kind of skilled manpower that is needed, and we invest resources and machinery into that, and skilled manpower into that, because why do people buy things from China? China has invested a lot of money into their machinery. They've invested a lot of money into their people. They've invested a lot of money into, but I also believe in global partnerships for growth. I believe we shouldn't produce everything here if certain things we are not great at, if our comparative advantage doesn't give us that edge over other people. So we need, a conversation around what is it that we can easily produce around here, and then invest the resources in there. If it's weaving, if it's if we put enough resources into that, we would comparatively at a good rate and a good quality put ourselves there in the market as this, and then everything else that we're not able to, we do global partnerships, because that's what we do here in SF Design House. Whatever we are able to produce here, we will partner with vendors locally. Whatever we believe the economy or hasn't put enough resources, we will work on global partnerships to make sure that the clients still get the best quality and at a good rate that they can get something at. So there's a whole huge discussion. If anybody in government gets to see this, guys, we are open to a discussion on this.
I think it's also good that we mentioned the amount of effort that goes into production. So what happens usually is a client will get an image of a Pinterest and show it to their carpenter, but you'll find that probably the shelving you're showing your carpenter, they used an MDF board over certain, I don't know, thick level, a
Right.
certain smoothness, and
A certain weather resistance that you're not aware about, the dimensions you do not know.
in your
Yeah.
house.
And
And
it's
it's
not
not coming
over.
out. You're going to try to paint that color, but you don't know
Yes.
how many layers have been put on that
Right.
shelf, how many layers have been placed on that table. So again, as Diana mentioned, we believe in comparative advantage.
Right.
Let's work with our advantage.
And
Yeah.
move
In
from
our
there.
case, as a design house, our advantage is we have a good eye for good stuff, for a good design. So let's
Very
source
good eye.
as much as possible. If it's a chair, let's try and find the best people that can make or buy that
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could source the table, if it's a coffee table and it's a wooden coffee table. There are vendors in Uganda that can make decent, beautiful
Yes,
coffee
beautiful
tables.
coffee tables.
But are we
In
going
the
to try-
materials that are readily available to them, yeah,
We're
with
not
the
going to try and
tools
create a
that they
steel-
have here.
Yeah.
So
We're not going to try to make this lamp or this standing lamp. I don't know if this is in the frame, but we're not going to try to duplicate metallic standing lampshade.
And that's
No,
me. I'm like,
we are not.
I
We're
want
not
this
going to do
made.
that. We're going to buy that stuff because they are guys, they are designers, they are producers that have already cracked
Invested the
code,
time.
invested
Right,
money,
who can
time.
do it.
All I have to do
Yeah.
is figure out how to ship it to myself, and then
And go from there.
that's it.
Yeah, and bless us as a people, but we have a problem saying no. So a lot of these vendors will be like, I can do it. Then you've invested all this money, and then you're like, oh my God, what? And by the time you get what you had wanted, you were better off just buying it.
most of our challenges are society challenges.
Yeah.
We have an obsession as a society. We have an obsession about production. We just believe that production is cheaper. It's not. Because for it to be cheaper, there have to be other things that are supporting you. You'll find somebody's obsessed about, like anywhere else you go in the world, wood is more expensive.
Yes.
But in Uganda, people think because it's wood, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's for the more expensive. Like
Yeah.
we have a reversed understanding
We
of
do.
what is luxury and what production
I
is.
don't know why,
and
but
we
we
have an
do.
obsession with production and saying producing is much better than buying. Those are, I don't know where, what
went
teachings,
last?
where we learned that and where we, but there is a lot we need to
True.
unlearn and there's a lot we
True.
need to learn. Like
True.
some things we are better off buying, some things it's okay to make, and I think us just accepting that and seeing what's the balance in which the money can do. And I think Rachel's saying bless us because we never say no to anything. I think it's our survival mechanism
Yes, of course,
as a society,
of course,
because
of
we
course.
believe that when you say no, then the client is going to try and get it from someone else and everything. So it's our survival mechanism to never say no
Right.
and just take on everything that we don't even have the capacity to do.
take on, yeah,
and
and just
then
be like,
you
"I'm
end
sorry."
up producing the wrong things for the clients and everything like that. So a lot of these design issues and whatever are society issues.
That's true. I'm definitely guilty, but I will say in my defense, I'm such a creative. In my mind, I'm just like, oh, I have this idea. So I'll see something and I'm like, oh, I can tweak it. But the way to tweak it is to get it custom, but not realize not everybody can make everything. Leave it alone.
Yeah, and also as an example, if you look at the fashion industry,
Well, yeah.
everywhere in the world, when it comes to fashion, if you want something customized for you, because there's fast fashion,
Yes, yes.
stuff in stores that you just go and
Yeah.
buy. But if you want something customized,
It's
to
going
your
to
thing,
cost
it's
you.
going to be 7 times the cost.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going
No,
to
then
cost
if,
you.
if fashion, these are clothes.
These
Yeah.
are clothes.
It could be
readily
understood
available,
there.
Translate that to furniture.
So now that, which I agree. We had our conversation the other day where I was explaining I'm used to, like, in the fast fashion world, the IKEAs, right? Of the
Furniture.
the furniture industry, right? So I'm like, okay, I have so many other options there. So now coming here, we don't even have that basic foundation, but also fashion. Also here we have that's another topic for another day.
How many years IKEA is, if I'm to use it as an example?
It's been a while because I know when I was born in Sweden, they were there. So it's been
It's been a while,
It's been
and
a while.
it takes
A while to get
lot.
to that point.
Yeah, but it also takes a lot of investment.
Yeah.
Capitalization
Yes,
of the
yeah.
machinery, of the people, of everything.
I was
We
gonna
had-
say government too. It's not just private sector
It's-
has to work.
the government,
together,
I'm sure,
yeah.
has invested in
A
the
lot,
IKEA
yes.
production, because when they looked at it, they probably saw like,
This is worldwide.
this is worldwide.
global,
So if they
yeah.
were to produce things from Sweden and export them everywhere in the world, then the government still earns a lot of foreign revenue from that. So
yes,
it makes sense from it. So I feel like we do not pay attention to things that we have a comparative advantage on.
The IKEA that many people reference to is about 79 years old. 2022, that's a 79-year-old
company. It was able to get to that point.
To do with production.
Very good points.
They are being supported by, of course, their government. They have 1 million designers, like IKEA supports designers. They have designers in the back end that they really, I don't want to speak for IKEA, but the little I've seen
that they have,
they have teams of designers, guys that sketch out, the product. There's a lot about product design that is not, they try the product. To try a product, you must have the resources to try a product, because there are prototypes that are done like, I don't know how many times, to make sure that the comfort, when you sit in this chair, the technology that the chair pumps up the fiber for you to sit up, that's all been thought about. I don't know how many prototypes have been done for you to achieve this comfort. So when you don't have the resources, you're in a third world country and you don't have the resources to do that as an individual, as a manufacturer or as a producer, and you do not have a government incentive on that industry, then definitely what you're going to produce is going to be different. It's going to be
me who comes with my Pinterest pictures of like
good luck.
all these things. It's not that it can't happen, but it's definitely not going to happen on the budget, and it's going to happen with different materials, and I have to be a little bit more accepting of there's leeway to give them leeway. Good, I like this. I like this, guys. You've changed my perspective, because I'm always frustrated.
No, it's trust me. I think it takes like learning, being in the industry and learning.
Maybe allowing yourself to not get so. Okay, there is now I'm taking it almost to this is another maybe cultural issue or could be a personal issue with some people. People love the dirty work. They like to get. I don't know. They almost.
That's what I say. There is an obsession. There's an obsession with dirty work.
Product of something unless they have suffered
to get it.
Trying to get it, like.
That's a psychological.
It's a psychological trauma.
For me, I think I like good stuff, but it's not the first thing I think of. Like, I see. Like, if you see a nice car, do you think I should go and make that car? Or do you think I should go buy? Let me find out the price of that car. Let me save up for that car. Same thing with design. Like, it's good to want good things for yourself, but guys, people have already
thought about it.
And thought about
I done it. Soft life. Just accept soft life. That's true.
Carpenters are great. I'm not. Carpenters are going to come.
No, it's okay.
But I mean, they are great for customized box. For example, kitchen cabinetry.
Yes.
They have to definitely put that up.
Yes.
If I'm thinking a walk-in closet, I have to work with a carpenter to do that.
Yes, of course.
But at the same time, am I going to try and duplicate some crazy 3-tier table that has legs that are cone-shaped? But
maybe not. You need actual designers for that. Or buy. I think it's just like I said, like moving and having like less options. Like I don't have the IKEA, I don't have Care One Imports, I don't have all of these anymore. Which is so wonderful to come across your space where it's okay, now I can get things that I'm used to seeing and used to buying. It was just that like there's a huge gap, which I mean, any of you, so many people always message me about business ideas. Maybe y'all should get into manufacturing and talking to the government and whatever, whoever's watching. There's one.
It's a long journey. It's a long journey.
People always ask me, what should I invest in? There's a gap for you.
It's a long journey. For SF Shop, that's the same challenge we had, with our design. We had quite designs that were quite ambitious for the market to bring into life. So we decided to do SF Shop as part of SF Design House to help in terms of sourcing for different, furniture and accessories that we think, the market can benefit from as our, retail customers, but also our project clients that could benefit from that. And we also support other interior designers that that are looking for certain things for their projects. We help them with procurement, interior procurement. So we help other designers, but we also help like residential clients who want to just pick up an item. They're able to buy this coffee table, they're able to buy an accent chair, they're able to buy a candle for their house, cushions. This is what SF, SF shop, that's where it was born from. But like we said, we keep learning. We didn't think about it in the beginning and say, it was through our own, we thought we would make everything. We thought we would make such a coffee table.
You have my mindset.
So yes, we had the same mindset. We have slowly learned and learned that certain things you're able to get here. I'm able to get this accent table from here because it's wood and we have the right, skilled manpower to do that and the machinery. Certain things, you're not able to get this brass thing from here, just buy it because making it is going to cost you much more. So, the person is not going to be even able to afford it. Right. So, the SF shop was supposed to fill in for that gap. Okay. But that we learned, along the way. Gotcha. So, yeah, it's a learning journey.
Moving to Africa, specifically Uganda, was really daunting with little to no information online about where to live, how to start a business, what to eat, where to hang out, all of that amazing stuff. So, I figured I'd start a website where you can book a consultation with me and ask me whatever you like, and then also updates based on the diaspora community that we're growing here on YouTube. So definitely go and check out the website and join the community.
So speaking of ways that you support your clients, can we talk a little bit about hospitality design for those people who have projects on a larger scale, commercial projects, and what you guys provide for them? Yeah. So a lot of people are always building apartments in Uganda. It's for them.
Commercial projects are actually our heart. We love to do commercial projects because we like to see design from a strategic perspective of things. Like we look at design from a strategy decision, how you look at branding and say, how should I be represented in my branding? What does my brand stand for? We believe design achieves that for you in terms of how you stand out in brand positioning and also how you manage your costs around your design and how everything is articulated.
So important.
So we have a lot of clients that are in hotel industry and real estate industry. For the real estate, you see that the market is growing as people are very interested in putting money there. A lot of people in the diaspora want to buy real estate. But unfortunately, the market is a lot of the people that are doing the real estate, most of them are foreigners. And we understand that the contractors or the real estate developers. So most of them will build from a perspective of what they've been exposed to. So you'll see that a lot of the homes or the rentals are like small spaces and not functional. You'll find that the door is opening from a certain angle, you're fixing into things and everything.
Used as well.
The materials that are used. So what we help our clients is to understand in terms of investment, what's the best value that they can, get from these projects. Like, rentals. People will invest a lot of money into the structure, like concrete and everything, and then not pay attention to the interior design. You'll find that a lot of their properties are not occupied, but the issues are more design issues.
Right, exactly.
What we try to help is come up with the designs from inception in terms of like the interior layout of the spaces. If it's a rental, how should the rentals look like, and who is the market that you're trying to target, because design should be very targeted. Don't approach a project or hospitality, don't approach a hotel to serve everybody. You need to niche to who your market is, who is the clientele that you're trying to, and then budget. With that, the thought process around design is thought about like, what would this client appreciate? So you find that in the hotel industry, they will have like luxury, mid-range, and budget. Right. And they have like certain rooms that serve that. But what are the materials that dictate, luxury and mid-range and budget? And then how is that articulated into a space to make sure that the person gets good value for their money, but still that they don't probably over-invest in their economy that they are operating in.
Another reason why we love commercial projects would be, that's where our passion is. We have traveled, we know what it means to sleep in a well set out room. We have experienced spaces that have been really designed meticulously to the final detail, and that's where our hearts are. So there isn't really a technical reason why we prefer to work on hospitality projects, or why we believe that we are better positioned to assist such plans. Of course, those are hotels, safari lodges, apartments, anyone that's building a thing in order to get a return
On investment.
We want to sit down with those people and understand who is the target client you're trying to get, as she has mentioned, and then the design has to depict that.
That makes sense. Just to name a couple, as we move into the next topic, some of the lodges you guys have worked on, they were beautiful.
Chikanga Safari Lodge, Tilenga Safari Lodge in Makshan Falls. We've also worked on Icon Boutique Hotel in Entebbe Road. We have also worked on to Sankara Pan-African Library in Bogolowi. And then there are other projects that we've worked on, but they're still in implementation. So we've done designs for them, but as you may understand, implementation takes time and everything. So we have a lot of projects we've designed, but in implementation it's still ongoing and everything.
Check them out when they're done.
We'll sure come back and tell you about it.
For sure. All right, so I've noticed, I think I mentioned this in the part 1, that as you move around in Uganda, sometimes you'll be on certain roads and you'll notice that there's half-done projects or kind of abandoned at some point. And I've realized I don't think there's a lot of budgeting. Can you talk to us about your project costing and how you guys go about
like we said, most of the challenges are more society and cultural challenges. We believe in, like you said, bless us, we don't say no as Ugandans, because we believe like everything can happen. We can do everything.
I love our
and
spirit.
It's our survival mechanism. That's who we are as a people. And it gets us through certain places. And sometimes it sabotages us. So, because I see it all the time when we travel, we're like, we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. Like, we can pack that stuff on like a truck and get it out and everything. And then they're like, no, they don't even allow trucks beyond this point in this kind of area. They don't allow that. I'm like, no, in Uganda it can happen. You miss a flight by 2 minutes. You're like, who is the person I can talk to right now? Because in Uganda you're like, this can happen. There's always a person I can talk to. So it's our societal and cultural survival mechanism. Gets us through places sometimes because we are aggressive. Sabotages us in some certain areas. So that is translated even in our project. So how we do business. So people approach projects for a very ambitious thing. They probably have like maybe 100 million and they're going to embark on a project of like 1 billion shillings because of the Ugandanness in them of like, we'll make it work. It has to work. We have to find a way to just chikuwa and everything.
Trying to get the number.
Getting the number out of the client is quite hard because you have to because of the culture. Everywhere else, like you do like creative work, the first thing that is asked, even if it's branding, is like, what's your budget? What's your budget you're looking at? A Ugandan will respond, we don't have a budget. First give me ideas. Let me see like the ideas, but the ideas, it's design. Like the ideas can get as wild. I can get you a $1 million idea, but it might be too ambitious for you to execute.
A waste of your time, a waste of theirs, because I cannot afford. So it's like, let's just figure it out from the beginning. So I love that you guys provide project costing. I think it's very important. And
we do because we try as much as possible to understand the client's budget. It's not easy because, again, we're working in an environment where people are not comfortable with money. They're not comfortable with saying how much money they have. They're not comfortable to say, it's another topic for another day. In terms
just that we need, as a culture, the way we are brought up, this is a good thing. You need to remain
humble. Is that what it is?
Too loud. It's not. No, we have a fake humility. We have fake humility.
It's fake humility. I love the way she said fake.
It's fake humility because when you accomplish something,
do not mention. I don't know, 10 houses on whatever road. Just be like,
we don't have money, even when the person is have money.
Yes. Those people, then there are the people who are all they do is tell you whether they have money. Then there's the ones where they will not.
The ones who will tell you, the ones who will tell you are actually lying. They don't have it. The ones who will tell you they don't have it. So anyway, going back to project costings, it's very, very important to understand the client's budgets, because they may not tell you in the first instances, but with providing them with options, then you'll understand what the budget is. Yes. Then we are able to say, like, you know, for this much, this is what we are going for. For this much, this is what we're going for. And when we look at it and the total of everything, when you look at the furniture, when you look at the flooring, and then you say that maybe for the space we have of the bathroom, maybe it's a small bathroom, so maybe we need to go a little bit luxury on it so that, you know, you make it, you make the space look better. So maybe if we've gone a lot more on the bathroom, let's go a little less on the kitchen and still get something nice, and then help them to develop a budget. But the only way we've been able to do that is through options and doing more research for the projects and giving them that, and then helping them, you know, come up with the budgets, and also comparison of different places that we can get all these different things. It goes back to what the principle on global partnerships is. Yes. Like, because I'm not going to try to get you marble from here if you really, you know, are able to spend, you know, much more, and we're probably able to get value elsewhere for the same, you know, amount of money. Then we're going to look at Italy, we're going to look at China, we're going to look at Dubai. If we are able to attain wood and materials from here, then we're going to give you a costing from here. If you want something more artisan and whatever, and maybe African, but we're not able to get it here, we'll get it in Nairobi. So again, we provide that service for clients who want to understand, my design is so beautiful, I love it, but what does it cost? So we help, you know, with that.
And also, it's important that a designer, okay, at the end of the day, when you receive that figure, sometimes it can be
overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
Interior design, as much as people might think it's reduced down to throw pillows and maybe these few accessories, this is the accessorizing bit. I mean, we are talking floors, lighting. This can get to a really high end. So as interior designers, we then have to step in to help you prioritize the spaces. She hinted on that, like which spaces should you spend that kind of money. It doesn't make sense for you to spend, especially if we're talking residential, because residential projects are emotional and people are very attached to their homes. It doesn't make sense you spending that amount of money maybe in a pantry. We want a well-organized pantry, but we're not going to spend the same amount on our pantry as our wardrobes, right? So as an interior designer, I have to give you those checks and balances and tell you, okay, I understand this budget is looking a bit crazy, but let's break it down and maybe we're going to go all out with our kitchen, because you love cooking, you love hosting. We're going to go all out with the living room, because again, you said you host like 10 people every weekend. But maybe for the children's rooms, not that they won't get the best, but let's just take it down a notch so that we get value and give you quality at the end of the day.
I love that. It's a good way to explain to people, especially like families, for example, like kids too, just because you brought it up. They grow up and change so frequently with what what they like, what they don't like, this, that, one. So like it's just prioritizing spaces and
I think I also want to
for the commercial guys, maybe to say something about the commercial guys, because sometimes you're embarking on a project that is so huge, and like if you were to go all out on the whole project, it would be like quite, you know, the Ugandan in you would just give up, like, oh my god, this project is too big, I can't do it. So we also give, in terms of like the project procurement and costings, we are also able to look at like who is your primary client and where would you like to focus on that. What are the areas of the sports? Because, you know, when we're working on Sankara is the most important thing about them is, you know, liberating, you know, people's minds and us getting educated about, you know, our blackness and being that. So that means
people,
the library was very, very important in how, you know, it invites people in. The cafe was just an addition to
to
the
support,
main-
to support,
Yeah.
Supports,
Yeah.
you know, what their primary focus is. So you identify what those, you know, spaces are and put like much more effort in terms of budgets and money there. And then the cafe, it supports, you know, people who come to the library to be able to get a cup of coffee and everything. So you will still invest money in it, but you won't go like very, very, very hard in that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also like to encourage just people in general, Ugandans and people that are watching this video. When you receive a total project cost, the first thing you should do is look your money in the eye. I had that quote somewhere. Look your money in the eye means do not worry too much about this bottom huge figure you're looking at. Let's go through the details. Our costings are very, very detailed.
That is another reason why I had to
Yeah.
feature you guys. You guys are so professional at it. Oh, so professional. So,
Thank you.
Book and stuff for your project. I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
we like to sit down with the client and just let's figure this out. We have maybe a 5-bedroom house, or we have a 20-room hotel, 30-room, 50, 100. Let's figure out how to reduce maybe our cost per room.
Right.
Does it make sense? We are willing to go, we'll go to the dungeons and back to ensure that you understand that figure and what it means, the implication of that figure. It's important that you know it.
So speaking about looking money in the eye, I know a lot of people see luxury and they got like, oh my God. So because you guys do luxury residential, can you talk to us a little bit about what that entails? And obviously not scaring off those who just feel like they're just budget all the time, but yeah.
Okay, for me, my definition of luxury at the end of the day I would define luxury in terms of the client
That says they want luxury.
It's about the intention.
I
Luxury
like
is
that.
about
It
the
is.
intention.
It
The
is
The
person
person needs to want a
wants
better space for
for
themselves.
You know, the example I loved that you guys used when we last talked was the whole fashionista thing about like if you're really into clothing, there's people, everyone needs clothes,
Yeah.
but not everybody is really intentional and loves clothes and how they dress and waking up and feeling good about you know what they put on. And those people might go an extra mile in certain areas. They might get a stylist, you know, they might like you know do research, do all these things just for that.
the same way you wake up every morning and pick out what you're going to wear.
Yeah.
Like I picked out a white t-shirt, picked a brown dress, like a blazer with beautiful skirt.
Oh, thanks.
But that talks into our
Personalities,
style.
yeah.
Does that mean like if I'm going for some award ceremony, I don't know, someday, will I style myself? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I might call in a
Somebody,
professional to style me.
Yeah, to make you look great.
I think I know what I like. I think I know what looks good on me, but a professional might add value.
Yes.
So the luxury residential bit, it's about a person that really
loves their home.
they want something better for them.
They want something
It's not
better
just
for
about
themselves.
money.
So it's not about the
I don't
money.
think it is, and I think people get scared of the word luxury, but I use it all the time as just it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's intentional. You've chosen to live a better life for yourself.
It
Yes.
doesn't mean money-wise. Of course, some things cost whatever, but yeah,
course,
it's a better life.
things
I'll
cost
give an
money.
Example. I think this is a personal example in terms of lifestyle and luxury.
Yes.
I personally don't love clutter, and I made a personal decision to just whatever I don't wear in 4 months,
You're
must
left. Phew.
get rid of.
Wow.
So that means even design. Okay, it's true that there is a limitation in terms of resources, what you're able
Of
to
course,
accomplish.
yes, of course.
But if you've decided that this is the life I want to live, this is how I want it to look like, this is how I want my space to feel like, then you're going to prioritize your resources there.
Of course.
And those are the kinds of clients we prefer to actually work with, because those people then understand the value. The last thing we want to do is explain the value of interior design to anyone.
Yeah. I think at that point, just keep putting with yourself on your own things. No, I get that. So one last service that you guys give that I've actually forgot to ask about was I feel like we kind of touched on, but just a more in-depth explanation, especially for the diasporans, was project management.
Yeah.
Yes. I would love you guys just to give a little bit of a 1 minute talk about that.
So we do offer project management for, like, I think there's a lot of people in the diaspora struggle with this because they're having like family, building for them, or they're having a contractor.
Sending money.
Send money. Now the challenge is usually with the finishers because of their exposure and what they want, and then they're having challenges on the market and expectations on what they can get. And now the challenge is usually they have probably a contractor and they're expecting the contractor to do exterior work and do contractual work and then do interior design work, and those are like 3 different things with 3 different people.
And you're not here to
to understand and see the options. And I mean, it goes back to everybody is good at something and they should like stick to what they should do, so that the learning curve is much faster. So we do offer like project management services to individuals that are building or houses or whatever they're doing, commercial building. We come on as partners and we charge you for time each time we come, or if you want to have us on a retainer, if you want us to choose certain things for you, or just manage in terms of like resources, or with this budget what can I do, what can I get, which floor can I get, or what kind of lighting can I get. So we are your information partners.
I love that.
That's what we are. We are your information partners on the project.
As much information as possible and what you need, your questions, because you'd be there thinking, tiles, which tile am I going to go with for my floor? Your contractor is offering you 2 options.
Right.
Because
He doesn't have the time, he doesn't have the interest.
And get all of
God
that.
bless them, we love them, but they want to get the building
Done.
That's a very different.
And interior on the other hand is so detailed, and as interior designers ourselves, we love it, but my friend, like sometimes the headache is real. So
The decision fatigue.
it's real. You want to hide under your bed because of the number of decisions you need to make. Because there's a certain part you didn't think about, there's a certain area. So we are your information partners. If we are into project management, we are managing that.
I love that. I love that. All right, so as we start to wrap up this video, a few people, I had asked this question to my audience, and a few people had asked, mainly like, where do you source your beautiful vases, throws, pillows, and everything from? I know a lot of people like to know, just obviously they're gonna buy from you guys, but just more so like the countries and the places. Yeah, it's more the trust aspect. Yeah.
So like we said, we believe in global partnerships. So, and our best advantages are So I wouldn't say like particular place like this country for this and this. If we travel and we like the quality of whatever we are able to get, we will source from any country. So we do every country. If it's US, if it's the UK, if it's Dubai, if it's Turkey, because they all have comparative advantages. From our travels, we source from anywhere we go. Anywhere, like, so I don't know, I understand that people want, something, so it's everywhere. It's the US, it's the UK, it's Dubai, it's Nairobi. Anywhere we travel and we feel we're getting good quality for what the people at home would like, we bring. So it's not particular places of sourcing, because again, we provide a wide range of things. There is like furniture, coffee tables, there's accent tables, there is fabrics, and different countries produce different things at different prices for the quality. So there are fabrics that are from UK and there are fabrics that are from Turkey. So they're having a different plans and different needs. So true. So really, it's what the person's needing or what you need to bring home, and if you find that it's good, we'll bring it.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for providing us in Uganda as a, what would I say, like a Pinterest expert with options. I really, it's so wonderful to see such wonderfully intentionally curated spaces that are providing us with things that we need. And of course, when you get to the level of building and doing these big things and and all that. And I also wanted to mention, just as we finish up the video, that you guys do provide 2-hour consultations for people as well, yes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because I want to hire you guys for my bathrooms. And my rest of my rooms in my house.
Yes, we do.
We have 10 consultancies where you pay for the time, and these are usually residential clients or even commercial clients that just want an expert's opinion on something. So they'll pay for 2 hours, they'll pay for half a day, they'll pay for a full day. It depends on what their time is or what they want to do. So with your time, you're able to get whatever you want. If you want choices of the color, choices of fabrics, furniture choices.
Where to get those things.
Vendor contacts. You can also use your time for selection of items. If you want to go like shopping around the town and I'm not so sure where to get this, you can pay for your time and support you.
Nice. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, you guys have so many wonderful services. I love to see it. Options. I love it. I love it. Literally works for everybody.
Yeah.
Literally, whether you're in Uganda or coming from abroad, whatever it may be. What's in store in your guys' future for SF Design?
The future is big. The future is bright. I don't know if I want to go like down to the details of what the future looks like, but what I know is we are re-engineering design in Africa. We are re-engineering the creative industry and how it's looked at and how everybody else, looks at it as the people in the creative market, how they look at their businesses, and also like how governments are able to appreciate, art, because there's been a lot of emphasis on the science, but there is a lot more that your IP can give you because you're great at that and nobody can replicate that. That's the beautiful thing about art, because when you're good at something, nobody can replicate that. So if there is support around that and support around like running sustainable businesses around art, it's going to be totally a different thing. So we have a lot in store in terms of the future, and I don't know, the sky is the limit.
I love it. Okay, and where can people find you guys? I've said it obviously before, but I want to get it from you guys. Let us know where the people can find you.
We are in industrial area, 7th Street, building called Oxford Station. We're on Instagram, sfshop_UG. Then we have another page. Then our website, which is sfdesignhouse.studio.
Love that. Yeah. Thank you guys so much again. Thank you for having us. I know you're busy ladies, so I'll let you guys go. Like always, guys, please remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification button. If you have any questions, put them in the comment box below, and I will let these ladies know. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.